Hello, viewers. Thank you again for joining us. I must apologise for the lack of interview last week. I have been struggling a little bit to get hold of people that have volunteered, but I've got some people now, so it's all back in order. So welcome again. And today's Star Vegan, we have Charles. So welcome, Charles. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it very much. So let's begin with how old you are, where you're based, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Wow. I am 55 and I live in Toronto, Ontario in Canada, and I'm self-employed. I own a pet store in Toronto downtown called
Awesome.
Bark and Now Pet Supplies. And in Toronto, I'm the only pet store that sells a dedicated huge section of vegan dog and cat food and treats and other
Wow.
eco-friendly non-food items.
That is absolutely incredible. Like I've never come across. So my brother also has a pet shop, and I encouraged him to get some plant-based food for the pets. He got some for the dogs, but I've never ever seen anybody do cat food. So that is incredible. Well done,
Yeah,
you.
yeah, thanks. Some of it actually comes from the UK, the Benevo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I used to use for my cat. That's amazing. So good. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about like your interests. What are you interested in? What are your hobbies?
Oh, at my age, it's really slowed down to very little. I work a lot. So my store opens 7 days a week and I'm there for 5 days. And I do more hours in 5 days than I did when I had a full-time job.
Oh,
And
wow.
even on weekends when I'm not physically there, I get phone calls, I have social media emails. So really, I work, I relax, I look after my home, I look after myself, and I have a few friends, and especially, during the pandemic, these days, there isn't a whole lot to do. Even my animal rights activism has really gone down
Of course.
because, you know, it's just, when you own a business, I need to be safe.
Yep, I get that. I get that.
But like I like just hang out with friends and you know going out once in a while for walks, and that's about the extent of life these days.
That's fair. Well, getting out in nature is one of the best things to do, so that's good.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So let's talk about your vegan journey. Tell us, when did you begin and what was it that inspired you to go vegan in the first place?
I went vegan when I turned 50, just a little over 5 years ago. Um, and I didn't have a vegetarian stage. I went from carnivore to vegan. And it was, at first it was about, midlife crisis and having to think about my future, my health. I know that at 50, I wasn't as good shape as I wanted to be. Now, I've never thought of myself as vegetarian, but I have quit meat before. Dairy and eggs were not never any of my favorite things to eat. So, and also, haven't been aware of other issues related, kind of like, related to the environment and deforestation, starvation around the world. I was always kind of aware of those things, but it just didn't all wrap up and come together for me. But around that time when I transitioned, I had a few friends who were vegan and were posting some videos to show what's going on in slaughterhouses. And I think that kind of affected me to really consider it something for me. And when I decided to go vegan, my biggest concern was eating and not knowing where to find food, what to eat, because my favorite food is Asian food. I'm Chinese. And I had no idea there's plenty of vegan, Asian, Chinese foods that are available in my city. And as time went on, there's more and more. And really, it's not that difficult. And I think if I can do it at 50 from being a carnivore, then probably most people can as well.
Absolutely. That's amazing. There's not very many people that I meet that have gone straight from being an omnivore to vegan. So that's pretty impressive. So well done you. And that must be very handy that you were never like big into like eggs and dairy and all that. So was there, even though you said he wasn't really like bothered about that kind of stuff, was there anything that you struggled to give up when you went vegan?
I have a sweet tooth, and
With you there.
so walking by bakeries, with all the buttered stuff, that has always been and is still kind of a little tricky for me.
Okay.
I like to window shop. I just look and admire and move on.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think aside from that, really not a whole lot, because I found replacements for all the foods that I really enjoyed. And the only time I have dairy was really in my coffee, which I would have one a day. And I never really liked cream. So it wasn't too difficult, really.
That's
And
good
with
to
the
hear.
support of a few friends, and then quickly getting involved in animal rights and meet more people, finding out where the resources are in my city, it was all very helpful.
So for those that live in Canada, what is your go-to plant-based milk? What do you use?
My favorite is oat milk.
Okay. And is there a specific brand that you like, or are they all good?
I've tried many different brands, and I don't think I have a favorite. They're all pretty good. I like the ones that are made for coffee, because really that's how I drink it. I never, drink a glass of milk. That has never ever been my thing. So I usually get the oat milks that are made for barista or coffee creamers
Oh,
and that.
okay. That's cool. That's good to know. We don't have stuff like that here. I've seen one thing which is like a cream, like salt caramel creamer, but I think because coffee's not that big in my country, we don't have stuff that specifically says, this is good for that. So that's cool to know that in Canada that they're much more, yeah,
I think
specific.
in the 5 years that I've been vegan, that the availability and access to vegan alternatives in supermarkets have really exploded.
Oh yeah, it has here too. It's been amazing. Like I've been vegan 3 years, and basically the moment I decided, well, I'm going for it, basically it was like the world joined with me. It was really cool. Like where I live now is like so vegan friendly. It's great. But it wasn't, there was a lot of places that I struggled to eat for. I was vegetarian first. So it was really weird to suddenly like everything, I could have everything. Well, not everything
Yeah,
obviously, but like a lot more options. So
I,
yeah.
I saw an old friend of mine from high school. So she's been vegetarian basically her whole life. And I remember she was vegetarian when I met her in high school. And when we were chatting about that, she said that back then in Toronto, literally there was just one place downtown
Oh
to get
wow.
a veggie burger in the restaurant. So we didn't live anywhere near downtown. So she would, take an hour trip on the transit to go get herself a veggie burger at a restaurant.
Oh bless her. That's dedication.
But it's not like that now. I literally have at the end of my street where I live, Burger King. That's House Impossible Burger.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
24 hours.
That's handy, yeah. It's amazing how the world has kind of caught on. You know,
Yeah.
it is. I agree. I think it's pretty easy to be a vegan now. Like, I didn't really struggle. And I think that's widely because there's so much out there.
Yeah. Well, while I have a Burger King at the foot of my street, I've only been there once, or no, twice. Because fast food is not good. But, you
No,
know, for the greater public, or, you know, general public, I think it's wonderful that it's available in that way.
yeah, I absolutely agree. There's been a lot. I've seen a lot of like debates that vegans have with each other about like whether they're for or against like all the fast food chains and all supermarkets and stuff making meat alternatives. Like, I'm for it. I mean, personally, for myself, I'm trying to get off it because I know it's no good for my body and I want to take much better care of my body. So I'm slowly transitioning to whole foods. Just because I've just become more conscious, I suppose, as I've got older, and I want to just take better care of myself. So, but I think it's great, you know, for people that are eating meat and like they're thinking about, oh yeah, I want to go vegan or, you know, plant-based or whatever. I think it's good that there are options because I think it really helps for us to get people on our side. You know, there's no excuse, especially because they're getting better and better. The tastes are like, from what I remember, like a lot of them are quite on point as to what it would taste like as meat. And some of them are even nicer. Like, I've got a few friends that still eat meat and they're like, I'd rather eat this. So they just stop, they're slowly stopping to buy the meat because they're preferring the meat alternatives, which is great. So yeah, I'm totally for it. And high demand, you know, we can't get more food for us if people aren't buying it. So yeah, I'm totally for it. I mean, I tend to steer clear of like fast food places myself too, but yeah, I love that the options are there. I really do.
Yeah, I think vegans that are people who are vegans now, you know, they don't have to like it because they don't have to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
We have options.
Yes, we do. So when you first went vegan, how did people, your friends and your family, like react and respond to you? How was that journey for you?
Well, I think a lot of my friends were very surprised because, again, there was no, you know, in between going vegetarian. I just kind of announced it to my friends and told them, and while they were surprised, it wasn't like you shouldn't, you're gonna die, you're gonna be sick. There wasn't any of that from my friends. But there was plenty of that with my family, which was difficult, at least in the first couple of years that I transitioned. Um, and in my family, when we got together, it was always over food and at a dinner table and that kind of thing. So, you know, I didn't tell them that I wouldn't participate because they were going to basically a traditional Chinese restaurant where, you know, meat is basically the main thing people eat. And how they display the food is horrific. But I didn't protest at first and joined in and told them that I was only eating food that contained no animals. And I thought that was clear, but apparently that wasn't clear to them because they thought maybe if I couldn't taste the milk in the dessert, or if I couldn't see
Oh
the milk
no.
because it's hidden in the sauce, that maybe it was okay. So, you know, that went on for a couple years where I ate nothing but rice
Oh, bless you.
and veggies, like green veggies. So I got really upset, and by the third year, I decided it wasn't going to happen anymore unless they told the restaurant to make me a proper meal that had proteins and not rice and green vegetables.
Yeah.
So it took time, but I think by year three, they were more accepting because they knew I wasn't gonna change. It wasn't a phase.
Hmm.
And I also would visit my mother, who was in her 90s, and bring her food that was from a Chinese vegan, a Buddhist
Brilliant.
restaurant. And and funny enough, she was not unfamiliar with Buddhist food because being born in China, that's not unusual. She's
Yeah.
even tried it long, long time ago. It's just not the main staple of her diet.
Yeah.
So when I started bringing her the wonderful faux meats that they do, she actually ended up enjoying it. And going forward from there on, she and I would go to vegan restaurants.
That's amazing.
So, it took time, even with my elderly mom, but I know for some people that's not the experience, but that was mine. Huh.
Oh, bless you. That must have been tough. Like, how did you deal emotionally with, not feeling accepted by your family?
Um, that's not a new feeling for me.
Oh, bless you.
um, I am the only queer boy in my family, and I'm the only boy in my family. I have three older sisters.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, coming out was quite an experience. And it didn't happen once, it happened multiple times because, in one ear, out goes the other, and you change the conversation. And that's how it was. But, I came out in the late 80s, early 90s. So things are very different.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. I'm sorry to hear that you went through that.
Well, I'm good. It's, you know, life is not perfect, but we learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Exactly. Well, yeah, I'm glad to hear of your positive attitude.
Well, I have to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't make it to my age.
Bless you. So I noticed on your t-shirt that it says "Mercy for Animals."
Yes.
Did you wear that just for this interview?
I am actually on my way to a fundraiser for a Canadian charity called Free Korean Dogs. And it's a organization that rescue dogs and cats from the Korean dog and cat meat trade. And they bring them here in Toronto, in Vancouver, and in Seattle, and I think in New York. I'm not sure, but like a few cities in North America. And they adopt them out after fostering them and making sure they're healthy, ready to meet their forever families.
Oh, that's so amazing.
My store is in the heart of Toronto's Koreatown, so I have chosen Free Korean Dogs as the charity that I support annually through my pet store with financial cash and food and treats donations.
Oh, that's
So,
incredible.
so I do that annually, but this past year I have increased the amount of support. So on Canada Day, we do a lot of fireworks. So I did a little fundraiser for them at my store to tell people not to spend money on fireworks and instead buy food to donate to rescue dogs who suffer from fear of fireworks.
That's such an
And
amazing campaign. I love
so I
it.
did that, and today they're doing their annual, they call it Freedom Walk. So all the people who have uh, adopted dogs through Free Korean Dogs, they all go raising money on their own, and then they meet at a park, and they do a walk, and the money goes directly to Free Korean Dogs to help with their financial needs.
Oh, that's so incredible. What an awesome thing to do. I love it.
So today I was able to donate a bunch of food and treats that goes into their bags to give to their uh, walkers. And I knew that some of them will also have cats, so I'm going there to hand out cat food to people who also have cats.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I love it. I love it. Amazing. So do you have
So that's
any?
why I'm wearing this, because this shirt says Mercy for Animals. People don't need to know the organization, what it's about, but people would automatically think it's, about dogs and cats. But I don't know if you can see, but there's like a fish.
Oh
I
yeah, a
think
rabbit and a chicken.
exactly. So
Brilliant.
hopefully that will draw up some conversation with the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
why I'm wearing it.
incredible. So other than this, is there any other activism that you've been a part of or still do?
Well, I used to be quite active before I was the owner of my store, but that has gone down considerably since, and particularly during the pandemic.
Of course.
Um, the actual physical events became online mostly. So I, do a lot of online activism in the background. And I will go to or I have gone to a few animal rights activism live events that I felt safe because of the measures that they did or the numbers of people that were participating.
Yeah.
And recently I attended the annual animal rights march that was basically a general animal rights march with a whole bunch of different groups that will do a walk through the city. And yeah.
So if there's anybody that's watching at the moment and they'd be interested in joining these activism events, what are they? Would you be able to tell us what they are like and the company so that people can look it up,
Oh boy.
or just some of them?
There's so many of them. So I have a card just right over there. So let me just get up and I'm
Okay.
gonna
Yeah, no, it's fine. This is very exciting.
all right, here we go. So this is the card.
Be kind to animals, to the planet, to your health, and help and speciesism.
And then on the back, there's some resources about, what what's on Netflix that you can watch.
Yeah.
It talks about information about the challenge 22. And then it talks about getting active with some of the local groups. So locally, we have Animal Justice, we have Animal Alliance, we have Anonymous for the Voiceless, we have CEFTA, which I'm not sure who they are. Sorry.
You've not been to that one.
We have DXE, the Direct Action Everywhere, Toronto. We have End the Dog Sledding Industry. We have GRASS, GRASS. Again, I'm not sure who they are.
Okay.
We have Nation Rising. We have a few others, PETA on here, Plant-Based Revolution, Veg.ca, We Animals, Media, and ZooCheck. More
Wow.
recently, I've been involved with a few of the events with Animal Justice and Nation Rising online activities.
Okay, that's good to know. That's amazing that you've got so many activisms around where you live.
There's more groups than that.
Wow, that's so incredible. I need to go to Canada.
Well, I am living in a major metropolitan.
Oh, brilliant. That definitely helps.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. So since being vegan, how would you say that it has impacted your life?
Well, I think in many ways it has impacted my life. Um, health-wise, I am feeling a lot better than I did at 50. And at 55, compared to non-vegans my age, guys, it's kind of noticeable. I'm not like boosting myself, but people are surprised to know my age. Um, how I see the world and how people react to what's going on you know, has opened my eyes, and it has also changed my life in that I literally sold my home, quit my full-time job to do the business that I have today. Um,
Wow.
you know, I when I saw the opportunity, I kind of knew right away. I had cats for 20 years. I had my dog for 15 and a half years. I was a pet parent for 27 years until very recently. So I it was a really good way for me to break out of what I was doing, working for humans, um, and working for the man. And now I'm on my own doing what I love to do, hopefully to my retirement. My goal is to have the first all vegan pet store in Canada.
That would be
I want
so
to,
incredible. Oh, I wish you all the best in that. That's
yeah,
amazing. You should be very proud.
I feel pretty good about what I do. You know, I literally see my customer seriously considering and do transition their pets. Um,
Wow.
for different reasons, but it's pretty awesome to be able to provide that kind of access in one spot to people.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about why you think personally that it's a good idea to transition pets to a plant-based diet? Because I know there's a lot of arguing, especially with cats. Like people can accept that it's okay to feed dogs plant-based because they're omnivores like humans are, but when it comes to cats, they're so like, even vegans, a lot of vegans are so anti, no, you cannot feed cats. So can you just enlighten us and the audience about that?
Well, I'm sure there'll be some people who have opinions that are different than mine.
Of
So
course.
let me just start to say that my pet store, while I'm the only pet store that sells vegan options for people, options is the key word because I sell meat food for pets. If I didn't, I wouldn't be able to pay rent or make money.
Yeah.
So we're not quite there, but I'm trying, and trying our best is all that we can do. Um, and as far as my belief around transitioning animals to a vegan diet or a plant-based diet, um, I am not of the opinion that all dogs and cats should be on a plant-based diet. I'm of the opinion that retailers and wholesalers and pet food makers should make those options available and accessible. And because I think transitioning an animal that we are parenting to a plant-based diet, that people do it for different reasons. It's not always because we are vegan and that we are uncomfortable handling meat to our dogs and cats. Sometimes it's literally because they have allergies to the meat food that they eat or that they have access to.
That's very interesting.
There are a lot of dogs and cats that are allergic to chicken. And while you might not be buying chicken-based dog or cat food, a lot of the food uses chicken oil or fat as a preservative. So it is found in the list of ingredients in the majority of the um, pet food found in retail stores. So they are allergic. So, a lot of times they will be recommended by their vet to try hydrolyzed food. They do have vegetarian food at vets, or they go for what they call wild meats like kangaroo and rabbits. But again, they are animals. So, having the access is the most important and the options available to people. And I know for a fact that a lot of people don't know of plant-based food. And when I have customers coming in frustrated because they've tried, quote unquote, I've tried every kind of food and they're allergic to everything, and I tell them about plant-based and they try it, they are happy that it's available and that's something that they really had no idea about. And as far as is it good for them, I think it's not about the ingredients that is important to what dogs and cat eat. They don't care. They're not out looking for you to say, hey, give me chicken or beef or salmon. They just want something they enjoy, like, that doesn't make them sick, that gives them healthy poops, gives them energy. So it's about the nutrition. It's about the nutrients that is in the food. And if you look at the label and read the ingredients list of food that you find in pet stores, they all have additives because they're all baked food. And when you bake the kibble, then the nutrients is baked out of it. And so you have to add additives like the vitamins and the amino acids. And in the case of cat food, you need to add taurine. So the plant-based food has all those same additives. And in some cases, there are whole foods like what we want to eat. So really, what people need to understand is that it's the nutrients that is appropriate for the animal at their life stage. That is what's important for them to get. Not does it have a shrimp in it or does it have enough beef in it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for sharing, because I had no idea about the allergies, so that's a good little thing to know and to think about. So thank you for sharing that. I'm sure, there'll probably be people in the audience that have no idea about that too. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So right now, what would you say is your favorite thing to eat?
Chinese food. Veganized Chinese food.
What specifically? Like, is there a specific dish that you love?
No, not really. I've always been, like I went vegan not because I have health issues, particularly. I love eating and I tell people I can digest rocks.
Brilliant. That's a good skill to have. Brilliant. Okay, that's fair enough. So our last question is, if there's somebody watching that's thinking about transitioning to veganism but it's not quite there yet, what one piece of advice would you offer them?
I think whenever we try something new, it's important to connect to people who are doing something similar so that you can get the support that you need and perhaps find more resources that may be available to you than you do. So that would be my advice. No matter where you are, you need the support. I don't think it's easy thing to do. So find the people who is going to be there for you.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to do a little plug in there, because as usual, I forgot to do it at the beginning, talking about support and community. So I am a founder of Vegan Bloomers, as you probably have gathered, because this is my channel, but it actually originated from Facebook, which is a community group for vegans and those that are transitioning. So if you are on this journey or thinking about this journey, I invite you to come and join our community on Facebook. Just type Vegan Bloomers and we're all there to help each other. I mean, admittedly, it's mostly just me, but I'm totally open to, help who anybody, you don't have to be vegan. I'm quite happy to speak to you about anything if you've got any questions or anything. Like I know personally too how important it is to have support around you. Like that was probably one of the things that stopped me from going full vegan. That's why it took me so long to get there, because I didn't have the support. So yeah, I'm here for you all. So yeah, please come join us. And I just want to thank you again so much, Charles, for this interview. It's been lovely talking to you and meeting you virtually. If there is anybody in the audience that would like to have a chat with you or get hold of you, or meet you or anything, how can they get hold of you to connect?
Well, I am on Facebook and I am on Instagram, and people can find me through my store. So on Facebook, it's Bark and Meow Pet Supplies.
Yeah.
And it's not AND, it's the ampersand and. And on Instagram, I am Bark Meow Pet.
Okay, fabulous. Nice and simple. Love it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this has been inspiring and you've learned something new, as have I. Thank you again, Charles, for joining us, and hopefully we will see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Luna. See you, everybody.
Much love, everyone.
Bye.